Hi there, Sunny Banane Dumelang. Thank you for joining us on our Cuddle Trust theme book series. Having been in this field for more than 15 years, we have realized that many of our teachers have got challenges with regard to time and resources. And we have put together a series of theme books through which we hope to guide you to be presenting structured lessons with specific activities and worksheets in which we attempt to use all five senses. These activities will challenge the child and develop their skills progressively so that they will, by the end of the year, have reached certain outcomes, and especially if they're in that 5 to 6 year age group, they will be ready for school. We make sure that the child always feels like a winner and that your ECD center or your creche will become very professional, very productive, and very profitable. This theme we're going to look at today is the theme on me and my environment. Now, previously we have looked at transport, animals, me and my people. So you can see now those were topics they knew quite a bit about. But now with me and my environment, especially if you're looking at the 3-year-old child, their life experiences are very limited. Normally it's just contained to the home and not so much to an outside environment. But through this, we're going to challenge them. Remember, as I've said to you before, never underestimate a child. Always stretch their brain, expose them to more than what you think they can remember, because believe me, their brains are little sponges and they will remember. So we're taking the topic me and my environment, and we're going to break it up into 4 weeks. Now, which is the best environment that the child knows and everyone does come from is their home. So week 1, we're going to talk about my home. Week 2, we're going to talk about at school, because that is where they are now. Week 3, we're going to talk about in the park, because that's also an environment that the child can get exposed to. And the 4th week, we're going to talk about visiting a mall or visiting the shops. And you can see where this is going to. Through this week, through this month, you definitely are going to pay a visit, hopefully to a park and hopefully to a mall. So again, our ideas for a theme table. As always, you're wanting to let your parents realize something is happening in your preschool. So if you haven't got a specific chart on me and my environment, you can put a chart up of, say, numbers, because in this chart, there are many things that a child will see in his environment. But then you can, on the table, you can encourage children to bring what they find at home. They find their dolls, they find their toys, they can find pictures of different houses. You can even just go and buy these magazines at Hospice. Please don't buy magazines new. Hospice has many, many magazines or charity shops that you can get at like 50 cents a magazine. Find books that talk about visiting a shop or visiting a pet store, and find coloring in pages, anything that will just expose the child to thinking more broadly than, okay, it's my house is my environment. What songs will we be singing this month? Well, we're going to learn the song Here We Go Round the Mulberry Bush, because it's an activity the child can do as well, because in this song we change it to, this is the way we sweep the floor, how we scrub the clothes, how we dust the shelves. We can sing the song 10 Little Monkeys Jumping on the Bed and Who Bumped His Head Because the Mama Called the Doctor. And then we've got our numbers chart as well. And another song is How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? It's about a pet shop and little animals that can get sold in a pet shop. And as we always say to you, we're here to help you. And if you don't know the tune, make up your own tune. Otherwise, you're welcome to contact us. We do have these songs recorded on CDs for you. What skills are we going to develop through this theme? Well, increased vocabulary, counting, laterality, communication, sequencing, opposites, cutting, gluing, reasoning, socialization, which is interaction, shapes, memorization, symmetry. Isn't that an interesting one? It's a new type of worksheet. Taking responsibility, spatial awareness, and following instructions. So which of these things shall we look at? My school, my home, in the park. As I've said, we always give you fairly comprehensive lessons plus the worksheets, but I think we're going to look at school. Now the child is at school. What does he do at school? What is he being stimulated to learn in his environment? Well, why don't we look at different concepts? Now, remember, we've said to you, you can't make a concept a theme. But here we're going to teach a different concept every single day. So on Monday, we're going to focus on colors. So in the lesson, we're going to say to the children, okay, you've come to school. What do you do at school? Do we play at school? Do you read at school? And when you are playing with your friends, are we all wearing the same color? No, we all wear different colors. So let's play a game. It's a very physical day today. So we're going to say, let's close your eyes. I'm going to count to 5. And when I get to 5, I'm going to say a certain color, and I'm going to count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and everyone must find something red or find something orange, and children need to run around the classroom finding these activities. In our preschool course, we also show you, when we teach you about the concept of red, we've easily got about 15 games there that we share with you how you can teach the concept of colors. And just teaching, even if it's just your 3 primary colors that you are focusing on in the beginning. But eventually you do want the child to know the whole rainbow of colors. So we're going to let them start with worksheet 6. So as always, all the worksheets are in your notebook. So guess what? What has got all the colors in them? It's your rainbow. So we're going to have the children have color in a rainbow. I would suggest you have a copy of a rainbow so that they can copy the colors down in the correct order. And if you're going to want them to use every color, you do need to have the crayons available, please. This is so important because it makes you come across as organized and efficient and not running around. And if a child can't complete a project, he's going to get frustrated and he's going to not want to do the next one. He's going to lose interest very, very quickly. So we've now, the first day we've spoken about colors. The next important concept we want to talk about is numbers. So we're going to practice counting in numbers from 1 to 10, and we're going to count from down from 10 to 0. And then I would also suggest, don't just start by number 1 to 10 every time, because then it becomes a bit of a rhyme. So now start counting at 5 and go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or let's count down from 6 down to 0, so that the starting point is always changing. And this will make it a little bit of a bigger challenge for the child. Again, in our preschool course, the day when we deal about concepts, we've got so many things about numbers and how you can teach children numbers. And remember, it's not just counting numbers. They must be able to show you the number. So please go and fetch me 4 stones. Please find me 2 crayons. Please find me 1 chair. Please go and find me, oh, is it a naughty child? Wow, let's say a busy child, not a naughty child, right? Please go and find me 2 ants. And let's see how long that takes him. So and then we're also going to start singing our song. We're going to sing the numbers song about the 10 little monkeys jumping on the bed. there's lots of songs and lots of games you can play with numbers. Remember, it's a fun way to teach the children numbers, not having them just write the numbers down, 1 to 10 and down from 10 to 1. The idea for a child is not to be able to just write the numbers. The idea for them is to understand the number, as we share with you, especially in our professional development workshop, on how to teach the children numbers and what outcomes you want a child to have by the time he is 7 years old. We're going to reinforce it with a worksheet. So we have got a worksheet where we are reinforcing what did we teach them the previous day? Colors. And now we're teaching them numbers. Color the shirt with 3 buttons red, so they've got to go and count the number of buttons. The shirt with no buttons blue, and the shirt with yellow with 6 buttons, we're going to color yellow. So they're learning their numbers and they are using their colors. Now, a child under the age of 4 will not be able to color in between the lines. So if you're expecting, if you are working with that age group, keep your expectations fairly low. It's only once they are over 4 that they are going to be able to color between the lines. Then on Wednesday, we're going to talk about shapes, colors, numbers, shapes. Your 3 most important concepts you're wanting to teach your children. Now, in shapes, again, as we do this fairly comprehensively in the preschool course, where you can have even more activities, but you know, why don't you start with this activity and then next year you can move on to a different activity. We don't want to just teach the children about flat shapes. We want to talk about 2D and 3D shapes. Now, 2D shapes are the ones that are the flat shapes. It's on a piece of paper. 3D shapes are shapes that you can hold in your hand. So, oh, Liana, you're talking about holding in your hand. That means I need to find things like we show you on the preschool course, have this whole lot of, a box full of different things that can teach rectangles or cubes and prisms as well. And we give you lots of ideas over there. 2D shapes are squares, circles, triangles, rectangles, ovals. 3D shapes, instead of a circle, it's a ball or it's a sphere. We have cubes, we have cylinders, we have prisms. I am exposing the children to big words. And I know many of us only used these words when we were in grade 7 and grade 8. But why don't you start with a child that is already 4 years old, 5 years old? Get him used to the word and he'll just realize. It'll be so easy for him when he's in grade 7 and suddenly he has a word of a prism and he, instead of freezing, hey, I actually do know what that's about because my teacher taught me about it. You can teach about 2D shapes on flashcards or on charts. So you can have, we have got charts on shapes as well, also showing 2D and 3D. But your 3D, you really want to have the physical products in your hands. So find them in your home, let the child hold them. Instead of them calling a ball, call it a sphere because it's a totally round shape. A pipe is the shape of a cylinder. A toilet roll is a cylinder. A block that is like your Lego blocks are called cubes. Let the children hold the shapes, feel the shapes, tell you what's the difference between them, play with them, because you are wanting to let them not just see it, but you're wanting them to touch it and then associate it with everyday objects. So you can understand why here I'm going to ask you to do as a worksheet. Now they're going to find the magazine and we're going to have a cube and they've got to find a picture in the magazine about a cube. We're going to have a cylinder and they need to find a picture about a cylinder. We're going to have a cone and we're going to have a sphere. So they are showing you that they are understanding the concept that you are teaching them. Then the next day, we're going to talk about sizes. Colors, numbers, shapes, and sizes, reinforcing and just focusing on these specific concepts, where other times we have incorporated the concept in teaching them about an aeroplane or teaching them about a cat or something. Like now we're just focusing on the concept itself. So with sizes, What kind of sizes do you get? Well, you get large and big, medium or middle, small and little. Then you can ask the child, who is larger, the teacher or the child? What animals can you think of that are large? And remember, we covered animals and we've covered transport. So they should be able to think of things like an elephant and a giraffe and a bus and a whale. And then what animals are small, or what objects are small? Well, my toothbrush is smaller than my hairbrush. A car is smaller than a bus. An insect is smaller than a mouse. So you are reinforcing a whole lot of the lessons that we have already covered. Then we're also wanting to use small, medium, and large. I can immediately think of t-shirt sizes. I can think of different balls. And in the preschool course, we actually give you, I think, about 4 or 5 different activities that you can play with the children, which teaches them the difference concretely between small, medium, and large. You can have balls there. You can have a small, medium, and a large car there. Remember, the more you can let a child hold something in his hand, the more it's going to reinforce what you are teaching the child. It's not just a word and it's not just a picture on a piece of paper. And as an activity here, you can let the children physically sort things from small into medium and into large items. Getting stones, getting leaves, find things that's in your environment. You do not need to go and buy things. We would reinforce it as well with a picture. So here's the worksheet they're going to work on today. And they are going to, again, I'm bringing in the concept of color, small, medium, and large. So tracing the shape. So they first have to trace around the outside with on the dots. Then they've got to color the small circle red, the medium circle orange, and the big circle blue. Now they're working on triangles, small, medium, and large, on squares, and then we are working with rectangles. So reinforcing colors and shapes and the different sizes. Then we have, on the Friday, we're going to make a craft. And what craft are we going to make? We're going to make binoculars, because that makes things smaller and larger. And who hasn't ever made binoculars out of toilet rolls? So they are cylinders. That is a circle. We're going to put them together, stick them, and the child has got his binoculars. A really cool activity for the child to have. So by the end of the week, at the end of week 1, the child would have made a house. Can you see we're using different shapes? I haven't bought any paper. That's paper from magazines that we've cut up and used to do the different shapes. When we did the theme on the park, we could move fast and we can move slow. And again, they're using their magazines to show that they understand what you are talking about. But by the end of the month, they're going to take home a workbook which is going to have a fair number of activities in it, using a whole different lot of skills, so that the child can show his parents and his gogo or and mom can take it to work and show them just how professionally and structured you are teaching the children. And then parents will realize, that someday the child will bring home something in their hands, an activity they did. Someday they will bring it home in their heads, a rhyme they learned or a song they learned. And some days they will bring it home in their hearts, where it is an activity that you have taught them and they can share that activity, whether it's sharing or caring or loving or just telling someone that they love them. Thanks for sharing this time with me. Hope to catch up with you next time.